So welcome everyone. This is day 13 of this 30 days of chair yoga, seated to standing. And today is more chair yoga for balance. So we're going to focus mostly on standing postures today, just loosening up the hips a bit, warming the hips and legs, and then focusing on a few different balance postures from the other day when we did balance as well. Okay? So we're going to begin standing at the back of the chair today, hands resting on the chair, standing up with feet hip distance apart. So let's get started. All right, so you can stay facing your chair. I'm just going to turn to face you. You can also take your hands off the chair if you feel balanced here. Just bring one hand on your belly and one hand on your chest. And we're going to start with some breathing. Let your eyes close. And just begin slowly deepening your breath, using your belly, feeling your hand moving, using your ribs, your chest. Take a few nice, long, full breaths. One more. And as best you can, try to maintain a deeper breath than normal throughout the practice, using some of your ribs, some of your belly. So remember, the point of the breath is not to do it like we're doing a breathing exercise where we're taking this full deep breath the whole time, but to be able to keep your attention on the breath, because the breath calms the nervous system, right? It relaxes the body, it relaxes the energy, and it helps the body heal itself when we're in a relaxed state, a calm state. It also helps us focus. So it's one of the things to focus on while you're practicing, to keep some attention on the movement of breath in your body. Try to be aware if you're tightening and tensing up, restricting your breathing, or if you're just breathing into your chest and there's no movement around your ribs, your abdomen. Try to keep your body soft and breathing, expanding, moving with your breath. Everything's moving together, right? No rigidity, trying to work against rigidity and being softening, calming, focused, okay? Doing everything mindfully, right? With presence, with awareness, right? With control. Slowly building to that. So bring your hands on your hips and just begin circling your hips. Either direction is fine, but as best you can, try to focus on keeping your head over your feet and just moving from your hips. So a good marker for your hips, as you probably hear me say all the time, is the crease below your buttocks. So the part where the fold is of the buttocks, right? Below the buttocks. So that's a good point for referencing where to move from your hips instead of your low back, right? Above your hips. And then reverse direction, circle the other way, moving slowly in each direction so that you are aware of where you feel the stretch, going out until you do feel the stretch. One more time. Then come to center, facing the back of the chair. You probably already are. I'm going to turn to the chair now. Bring your feet hip distance apart. Inhale, lift your chest, lengthen your spine, and try to keep this upper body like this, lifted, chest lifted, ribs lifted. Exhale, sit back, try to focus on keeping your knees where they are, and just pressing back from below your buttocks. Coming back as far as you comfortably can, keeping your chest lifted, spine long. Inhale, come up. Option to bring your hands to heart when we come up, even to reach your arms overhead, shoulder width apart or hands together. Exhale, bring hands to your heart, sit back. So listen to your body and go with where feels good for you. So as you come up, if you can have hands on the chair or reach arms overhead. Look up at your hands. Exhale, sit back, hands to your heart. With your breath, 2 more times like that. Inhale, come up. And this next time we'll hold. So exhale, come down. And breathing here, whether that's hands to chair, hands to your heart. You can lift the tips of your toes, press down the pads of your toes strongly into the ground. Focus on trying to keep your knees where they are. If your knees come far over toward your toes, then you've come too far. Come down to only where your body's ready for. Breathe here. Feel the strength in your legs. Really press down. Draw the space below your navel in towards your spine. Inhale, come up. Exhale. So again, you can stay facing the back of your chair. I'm just going to turn so you can see me. Have your feet hip distance apart and bring again your hands on your hips. Now, for your balance, it's very important. You can always have challenges for the balance in different places, different parts, right? So if you think about it, you have your ankles, then you have your knees, then your hips, and then the upper body. But mainly the balance, the priority is down in the ankles, knees, and hips. Okay? So focusing on that area, trying to be aware of where the imbalance is, wherever you feel the imbalance, the tendency sometimes is to focus on the upper body, right? Trying to keep the upper body and balancing with the upper body like this, right? But the important thing is to keep your hip over your ankle when we're balancing. So the alignment and the spreading of the foot, the strong, firm ground in your foot. Because if you watch people balance when they go off balance, or you might notice in yourself as well, that your foot lifts and you see your foot move a lot like this, right? Because the foot is trying to find balance. So spreading your toes wide, like your hands, like this. Spreading your toes wide and pressing down the pads of your toes. Try to feel the whole edge of your foot. Press down the tips a bit, but still feel the pads pressing. And try to feel the whole outer perimeter of your foot pressing down, whole outer edge. And then we're going to begin circling our weight on our feet. So it's very small. It's like you're circling your upper body from your head, right? Like those clown toys where you punch them and they come back. So like that. Just moving from your feet and trying to be aware of the shift of weight in your feet. So as you come out to the side, the outer side and the inner side of the feet, then to the fronts, the toes, the pads of the toes, out to the right, the outside of the right foot, the inside of the left, the back towards the heels, across the side of the heels, the back, the other side, and feel that. Be aware of all those subtle changes as you're circling. And then circle the other way. Just try to be aware of where your limit is when you come out to the edges, right? Not going past your limit, but just going so you feel where your body is balanced, how far your body is balanced out. Again, you can still have hands on the chair. And try to be aware of this, especially the feet. There's a lot going on in the feet, and then the alignment between the ankles, knees, and hips as we move through the balance postures. Okay, so turn to face towards the back of the chair. Step back from the chair where your fingers can still touch the chair for balance, but where you can lift your knee and not hit the chair. Okay. With your inhale, shift your weight over to your right foot. Exhale, draw your left knee in. It doesn't have to be this high. Just draw your knee as high as you comfortably can, drawing in below your navel towards your spine and using your abdomen to lift your leg. Exhale, come down. Inhale, shift over towards your right, and exhale, draw your knee up. Inhale, down. Exhale, draw your left knee up. Inhale, down. And with your own breath, continue. Shift the weight over to the foot that you're balancing on and draw your other knee up between your hands. It doesn't have to even come up past the chair. Just come up as high as is comfortable for you. Then bring both feet hip distance apart and turn to face towards the side. So turn to face towards your left where your right hand is resting on the top of the chair and using this here for balance throughout the practice. If you feel balanced, you can remove the hand or play with lifting the hand a bit, right? Shift your weight over to your right foot and then bend your left knee up in line with your hip as close as you can come. Bring your left hand onto the front of your left knee. Hold your knee here so you're not using all your abdomen and leg strength to hold your leg up. Use your right hand on the chair for balance and breathing here. Have your eyes steadily locked on one point, something that isn't moving, steady gaze. Try to keep the eyes locked and breathe. Focus on keeping your ankle, your knee, and your hip in alignment. So your hip over your ankle. Feeling the whole foot pressing on the ground, grasping the ground like your hand. Eyes steady. Draw the space below your navel in towards your spine a bit. So you feel like the core is drawing in towards the center of your body. Breathe. One more time. Exhale, bring your left leg down. And the same thing on the other side. I'm going to turn my chair so you can still see me. So we'll turn towards our right now, left hand on the chair. Shift your weight over to your left foot and firmly plant down through the foot first. Again, you can use your hand on the chair or you can play with the balance, just having it lightly touching. Lift your right knee in line with your body, in line with your hip, or as high as is comfortable for you. Right hand can be on right knee. And again, focus on keeping your hip over your ankle. So eyes steadily locked on one point, something that isn't moving. Try to feel the whole foot on the ground, the whole perimeter of the foot. Be aware of if there's one part of the pads of the toes, the inside or outside of the foot, where you feel like the weight is not there, there's no weight there. And try to even that out. Ankle, knee, and hip in line. Breathe. One more. Exhale, bring your foot down. Then come to the back of the chair, facing the back of the chair. Bring your chair like my chair on the edge of your mat with the back two legs of the chair still on the mat. So it's still stuck to the mat and it's not going to slide. And have some space behind you where you can still have your feet on the mat, but legs of the chair on the mat. Bring your feet wide, so a little bit wider than the legs of the chair, as wide as you comfortably can where you feel the outside edges of your heels still firmly planted down. Hands on the chair, then turn your feet out to the sides a bit, about 45 degrees, pivoting on your heels. Hands can stay on chair. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, bend your right knee toward your right ankle, tracking your toes. Now, if you have room to come far past your ankle, you could probably make your stance a bit wider. Just make sure you go short enough you still feel the strength and sturdiness in the legs. Bend the knee over ankle. Inhale, come up. Exhale, bend your left knee over the ankle, towards the toe, tracking towards toe. Inhale up. And with your breath, continue alternating sides. Try to keep your chest lifting, spine upright with your breath. Going deep enough, you feel the stretch in your hip crease, deepening your hip crease. Inhale, come up. Pivot on your heels, toes pointing forward, and step the feet together. Facing same way still. Bring your right foot right between the two legs of the chair, right in the center, and bring your right hand on the chair. Come onto the toes of your left foot and have your left toes pointing out to the side, towards the left. Have again your eyes locked on one point. That can be on the ground in front of you. I'm using the camera because you're right in front of me. And lift your left knee up in line with your hip again, but out to the side. So it's pointing out that way like a pirate, right? Bring your left hand to your left knee. Breathing here. Eyes steady. Try to be aware of your hips again. So there's a lot to be aware of when we're balancing, right? So much to pay attention to at once. That's why it takes a lot of practice. So focus on keeping your foot spread out on the ground, all parts of the foot, eyes steady, breathing still. Ankle, knee, and hip in line. Trying to keep your hip over your ankle, focusing on that. Relax your upper body as much as you can. The lower body is much more important. Draw in below your navel a little bit so you feel like everything's drawing towards core, towards the center of your body. Breathe. Exhale, bring your left foot down. Shift and bring your left foot to the center of the legs, right between the two legs. Left hand on chair, turn your right toes out to the right. And again, lock your eyes first, one point. Try to get a nice sturdy base, so a strong alignment of your ankle, knee, and hip. Spread your foot wide, grasping the ground with your foot, like you're grabbing it, like you have a gorilla foot. Grabbing the ground, right? And then lift your knee in line with your hip. Again, right hand can be on the knee. And breathing here. Eyes locked on one point. So besides the ankle being under the hip and the breath and all of these other things to focus on, as you progress in holding the posture, as you progress in the balance, your balance gets better and better, focus on drawing your knee out, like you're really trying to open your hip, like your foot is rotating towards the camera, towards you, and the knee is rotating towards this back wall here, so rotating that way. Not trying to make it out of line, but so it's in line with each other. Right? The tendency is for the knee to draw in. So you want to open the hip out. You can do that by engaging your glute, your butt muscle, your right glute. Inhale, bring your foot down. Step to the chair. And then we're going to come around sitting in the chair again. Inhale, lift your chest, lengthen your spine. And exhale, fold forward. Elbows can come down to your knees. Option one, just relaxing the back of the neck, letting the head relax down. Or you can bring hands down to ground, but we'll be holding here, so breathing deeply. And just focusing on the movement of breath in the back of your body. Allowing your head to relax down and help lengthen your spine. Feeling the movement of the expansion of the breath in the back of your body between your shoulder blades, the back of your neck. On your next inhale, come all the way up, palms together overhead. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. And then we'll slide to the back of the chair for final relaxation. Let the back rest against the chair. Your feet can be flat on the floor as they are under your knees, or let your feet come out a bit, resting on the ground, letting your thighs rest on the chair. Hands can be palms up, palms down on your lap, on your thighs, or hands in your lap, one inside the other. And when you get there, let your eyes softly close. So just begin by letting go of your breathing, letting go of controlling your breath in any way. Just try to be aware of your natural breath, how your body wants to breathe on its own. If you let go of any intention, any ideas about the breath, how the breath should be, but just allow your body to breathe on its own and feel the body breathing, that movement of expansion and contraction. And soften your face, letting go of any expression on the face. And just feel like warm water pours down the body, just softening your body into the chair from your head down to your feet, letting everything rest down on the next part. So your arms on your thighs, your torso into your seat, your thighs on the chair, your feet on the ground. Like everything is sinking down. And then bring all your attention to your heart space, center of your chest. And just focus on the feeling of expansion and contraction in your heart area. And just trying to keep your attention continuously locked on that sensation of expansion and contraction around your heart, softening with each exhale. mangale ho ire. And when you feel ready, begin to slowly deepen your breath. And if you feel ready to move, making small movements with your hands and your feet, your neck. And when you feel ready, opening your eyes. So thank you all for practicing with me today. And if you have any questions about today's class, anything you'd like to see on the channel, anything like that, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow for day 14. So until then, take care.